I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now. I'm gonna make you bleed out. Listen on repeat now and weed out all the weak now. Get up.
And we're here. All right. Let's everyone tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, shall we? Once I figure out how to get off of meme Facebook groups. Sure. And you got your share game on? Good morning, folks. I'm having a rough day, so bear with me. Also, if you don't know how to drive, keep off Flint roads, please. You're a hindrance. Just going to Best Buy this morning, I saw 3 people spin out. I'm done. The weather ain't that great. The government's shitty enough up here that there isn't enough redeeming qualities for me to really, really like horrible drivers in Flint. No, Lorna, it's morning. It's always morning. In California, I'm jealous. I'll give this a few moments. Oh, never mind. We're already up to 15. No more moments. So, how is every human doing today? Hopefully good, hopefully decent. And let's just get this disclaimer out of the way. The views of me are not necessarily the views of 810 News Media Group. That way Mickey doesn't have to say it 5 minutes from now when I start cussing. I lie, 3 minutes from now. And we're gonna go back to city council for a minute, folks. I will admit I didn't get too much of a chance to watch it. My computer's been going out at home. A CPU issue and instability with the firmware, but we'll get that unscrewed at some point. However, what I do know, wards 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 were there. 2, 3, 4, and 7 wanted to keep pushing everything back. Everything back. Will someone please remind me what Liddell's little slogan is? Voted up or down? That's how it goes? Voted up or down? And yet she wanted to push everything back because they knew they didn't have their 5th vote. They didn't have Eva. We'll be nice today. They didn't have Eva. So it just goes to show the hypocrisy of it all. We have people who, when they have all the power in the world, when they have their 5 votes, that's all that damn well matters. They can't wait to get something on the floor to rubber stamp it. The second they don't have their 5th vote, they need to push it back. Well, if it's a good enough resolution to be passed, it could be passed by any 5. And if all you have is 5, and it isn't good enough to pass the 5 of you, then maybe it just needs to die. Every damn time. And Tanya straight up said, look, if the money is not coming from the right account, if we can't even get the accounts right on the resolution, I'm going to vote it down. She called it straight up, hey, if you can't do your paperwork, if you can't do your due diligence, if you can't do everything preparatory correctly, then it's not going to pass. I'm not going to let it pass. Do the paperwork right. That's not even much to ask. That is base competency in our government. And they couldn't even get that. Actually, let's rewind just a little bit. Mickey, you were there, right? Yep. Yep. I have to thank everyone that was at council. Mickey, Wintis, Art, absolutely everyone, and including those that don't stream, just regular citizens of Flint. When those 2 men came up, Dougie and his whistling at Tanya like a dog, and I don't even know what that man's name. I don't even care what that man's name is, honestly.
Preachy or something. Preachy. I'm not for sure.
Douchebag.
What? Hey,
Hey, I made it 5 minutes. When they did their remarks, when they did their complete disrespect, I have to thank everyone for not laying hands on them. And it isn't because I'm a nonviolent person. We all know quite to the contrary. However, had those two gotten the sense slapped into them that they damn well deserve, you know, from the jump, every single time, from here till the end of time, douchebag, we would be labeled as a violent extremist organization. And I'm not just talking about 810, I'm talking about everyone who is against Liddell and corruption. Oh, I'm against corruption. Oh, so you're violent. So, no, I have to thank everyone for keeping their cool. You guys did the absolute right thing. And we have to keep that in mind at all times. They're trying to bait a fight, they're trying to bait an incident so they can discredit the movement in and of itself. I'm not for one side or against another side. All I am is against corruption. We have people who are just trying to rubber stamp a paycheck for their best fucking friends. Why is such a big deal about these parks and paving the shut up phone paving the parking lots there when we can't even get our roads right? I mean, think about it. Your car has to be road legal, but the road doesn't have to be car legal ever. We can't get our shit together here. And they're pushing so hard for that. They're looking to spend money that we don't even have. They're talking about ARPA this, ARPA that. ARPA's gone. There's like 9K left in that account. I believe 810 Flint reported. Which, thank you, 810 Flint. 9 grand. Have you seen any shingles flying around here? Any roofing nails? Any roof replacement whatsoever? Have you seen any water heaters? Any furnaces fixed? Have you seen any crumbling basement walls fixed? Hell, how about the sidewalks? Can we even look at the yards? No. But we had to throw all that money into the general fund, didn't we? And they were so eager to push all those things back in the finance committee so they can get their 5 votes for later. I have to applaud Tanya for being able to shoot down the ones that she did, because if they can't get it straight and right in the first goddamn place, then it doesn't need to be there. We don't need to be spending any more money than we already have. Good afternoon, Miss King. Oh, CJ, you don't want me getting half the stuff off my chest right now. Number one, these walls are thin. I don't need to be upsetting our neighbors, per se. There's an angry white guy cussing up and down the halls. So, I really want to know if anyone can find out. Actually, I think Wintus said it. So go ahead and inbox me. Who were the groups that they were trying to give the contracts to pave the parks? I want to see exactly who these companies are and see if they've donated to Neely or any of his friends. I do know that Neely just received campaign contributions from Kim and Green. The ARPA money is being used to help balance the budget. That's the problem, Chris. Then the budget wasn't balanced in the first place. If you cannot keep your spending below what you're bringing in, then you've got a bad fucking business model. If I were to see this on, say, Wall Street or any Fortune 500 company, hell, even any mom and pop shop, I'd say you need to close down. You don't know how to handle your money. You're not a good business model. Looking at Flint, I say the same damn thing. And that isn't because the business model is fucked up per se. It's because we have too many people that come in, promise the world. I'm just going to quote a counterpart of mine from when I was running for state rep. Imagine not having to pay your water bill until every pipe in Flint is fixed. Well, that's beautiful. That's fucking la la land, though. You'll never get that. And we hear it every election cycle. We hear it every time there's city council races. We hear that sort of jargon and bullshit. Every time it comes to state rep, every time it comes to your congressman, every time it comes to your senators, and you never get it. And then they decide to give all these contracts to their friends and they overspend. And now we are in the situation we're in now. Whereas if we could just keep our spending down, stop spending money on things that we don't have to, on frivolous bullshit, on stupid contracts to pay our friends because they paid into my campaigns to get me this beautiful position, maybe we could start to pick ourselves up and maybe we can start to come up with a better quality of life for the residents of Flint. Because living in a 2-bedroom house with a crumbling roof, a crumbling basement, a fucked up yard, and then every time you pull in and out of your damn driveway, you're losing a damn wheel, or God forbid, your kid decides to take off their seatbelt a little bit early and gets bumped up into the ceiling. Yeah. And here we is in Quincy's voice. I thought I'd try that for Mama O'Quill. And Quincy's so damned obsessed with those parks, and while Wintus and Mickey were too damn nice this morning to talk about it, Quincy, what the hell are you trying to do with those parks, bro? I know your best buddy in the whole wide world, the park ranger, has some creepy fetish with parks. What is your vested interest in these? I mean, hell, you aren't mowing them. You ain't making money off them, buddy. So why are you working so hard on it? Is it because you're told to? Or is it because possibly someone's saying, hey, we might be able to get you the contract to go out and mow those? Oh, shit. I thought that was the county. I thought they took care of all of our shit here. Who knows? Maybe I'm just some dumb fucking redneck who sees all this corruption and thinks that it's immoral. Maybe all y'all city folks happen to have this worked out. Fuck if I know. But I tell you what, it's my wallet in the end that you're fucking squeezing. It's my kid's future that you're fucking trying to cut. It's my wife's and my retirement that you're trying to fucking cut out. Mama O'Quill, you've lived here for how many years? And how bad have the taxes gotten over these years? How bad has your water bill gotten over these years? Tia Harris, even if it is part of the infrastructure, aren't the parks supposed to be the last thing on the infrastructure that we actually give a damn about? How about our streets? How about our water? How about our electrical grid? Living up here in Flint, guys, at least once a year during the winter, during a large storm, we lose power for 2 or 3 days. Or our old folks sit at home and freeze. Mama Quill, you've been here for 68 years. 68 damn years. And each passing year, each passing decade, your taxes have gotten worse. Your water bill has gotten higher in the past decade and change. It's getting harder to make ends meet. And now when we have men and women retiring, and now we're on a fixed income, how are they supposed to make those ends meet? Well, you don't really get to retire, do you? Thank you, Mama O'Quill. If you'd put that up for me, bud. Fast Eddie, another person who's been here for 60 plus years. 69. Good number, man. And I don't see a single person disputing that our taxes are getting worse, and we are not seeing any appreciable value for the money that we're putting in. We don't have no fucking cops. And as far as I can tell, every cop in the city that can be, that is even on shift, is at city council. Whereas criminals are running amok across the city during that time. They got rid of Metcalf, right? Do they have Barney Fife there? That old man who had his belt up to his nipples? I hear stomping. No, it's not my crib midget. We don't have clean water. We don't have decent roads. We don't have homes that have been invested in by our own city, when 90% of the damage done to our homes has been by the city. Remember, the city first takes control of your property and then sells it to the land bank at a steal. I ask because I think someone may be swindling money through the parks, claiming to restore the infrastructure. I mean, the only reason I can think of Quincy, and mind you guys, Mickey's not involved in this one, so no one give him a call bitching about what I say later, is he. I know that the county takes care of our parks and mows them. I know this. But since Quincy's got that brand new fancy smancy lawnmower, maybe he's trying to get in on it. Who knows? Maybe he's gotten a subcontract with the county to mow the parks. And he doesn't want to ruin his truck towing his lawnmower everywhere. Though, for the love of God, that thing being 11 grand, it should just run off of happy. Chris, indeed, where is Sheriff Swanson? Sheriff Swanson, while he may or may not have a like or dislike for our mayor, he also doesn't like to get involved in Flint politics. It's too messy for him. He's got higher political ambitions. He doesn't want to taint himself here when he tries to move up somewhere else. Let's just call, as Mickey says, a spade a spade. Every politician you see around here who is in a position higher than city council has their eyes on a higher chair than what they're already in. Swanson, I've heard rumors that he's running for a state level position. Neely, we all know, has his eyes on possibly that congressional position. Liddell Lewis, who knows? People have been saying Candace Mochat wants that state rep position. Where are we to be? No one wants to get involved in trying to clean up Flint because it'll taint them and tar them going into the next place, because Flint is tied into the rest of the state. As I pointed out several times before, Dan and Nessel, good friends with Governor Whitmer. Governor Whitmer happens to really like, for whatever reason, Snyder. And we couldn't even get an indictment on Snyder. That completely died. Thank you, Nessel. Killed Rico. Our Secretary of State playing with our elections now, saying, no, no, no. New boundaries, old boundaries, new boundaries, whatever. She happens to be very close friends with Gremlin Whitmer. Gremlin Whitmer endorsed Neely. Flint can't even handle its own affairs politically because we have so much pressure from the outside pushing us to do the wrong. And then we've got the echo chamber. We have so many people over there who are offended by the words that I say rather than the meaning of them. They would rather side with corruption than have a moral bone in their damn bodies. They would rather decide that because we aren't as couth as we could be here at 810, that they don't like us at all and that we are the most horrible humans in the world. When they're sitting there rooting for the destruction of Flint, when they're sitting there rooting for corruption, when they're sitting there rooting to be ripped off because they're too damn blind and fucking stupid to realize it. Just because we happen to use some coarse language here. Look, this is Trevor's rant, not Trevor's sunshine and happy spot. Get the fuck over it. All right, let me go through the comments for a sec. Trevor Berryhill, I don't think enough people give you your flowers. Man, I love you, dude. I don't know what nobody thinks. Trevor, you can get a cold beer at the barbecue. You know what, bud? I'll bring my beer and I'll treat you. Well, as John Q. Public has more power, we are utilizing. All we have to do is stop fighting against each other and work as a collective group, and we can make changes. Oh, cool. I've been saying for the past year and change, I would like to see Flint form its own political party. Flint first. I don't care how you vote when it comes to Senate or Congress, when it comes to president, but we need to come together and decide who's best for Flint and who's got their own interest above the interest of everyone else. And those people do not get our endorsement. They do not get our money. They do not get our votes. But I can already see how that's going to go. There's going to be a meeting to have a discussion, to have a talk, to maybe consider sitting everyone down to talk about it. We won't get anywhere. That's just Flint politics. We'll talk ourselves around in circles forever, and then we'll have bad actors slip on in and try to do what they always do, just like with some of the greatest organizations in the country for civil rights. When they come to Flint, they get corrupted. If Flint were to try to stand up on its own and do its own thing here, we'll have the same damn thing. Yeah, Chris, I know. If you'd put up Chris Caleb's for me. In the 80s, the FBI did come in and dismantle the Flint Police Department. And then when they left, after rebuilding, they let it fall back into disarray, or we, rather, because that's not the FBI. We let it fall back into disarray. And then the worsening political status throughout the rest of the country has made it to where they're not coming back. They don't care. Flint's small potatoes. There's political opponents to go after. Whether it's a Republican or a Democrat in office, they're always looking at their political opponents. And Flint's just two small potatoes. Flint first will be independence, critical thought, capable individuals who put all residents first, people who aren't scared to fight. That's what I'd love to see, but we're going to have so many elders sit down and refuse to pass on their knowledge to the next generation, as Mickey and Winters have been talking about for what, the last 6 months, at least.
This whole system, to be honest with you, Trevor, this whole thing got to be redid over, man, because you got to
from scratch.
Because you got to get the ones who, because on this level, we're just saying the low level of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think, who is the people who really run Flint?
Who runs Flint? Who runs Genesee County? Who runs this half of the state? Who runs the state together? And it's all tied in together. Right. You can't make a move in one without having to make moves in all the others.
Yeah, so
it's all corrupt from the bottom up.
Because even if you do, you might get control of it. You might just say you might get 6 votes. Let's just say Dennis, Tanya, and Eric, and Jerry, and whoever the new two council people is
that are with them.
Yeah, say they do get the 6 votes. Okay, you can get Neely out. Just say we do get Neely out. He try to, you know what I'm saying? He do want to get out.
Okay.
Who's to say the next mayor or the next state rep or the new council members that's on there? Who's to say they probably won't turn after you get them out? Because it's still, if you still got the same ones who controlling it, just go look at who control downtown.
Here's the crazy thing. We have so many laws in place for anti-corruption, anti-this, anti-that, which, by the way, if nothing else, Quincy Murphy catching that lawnmower is the perfect textbook example of an indirect bribe, right? So let's say we get them out. We start fresh. Fine. But then they flip. We have laws about this, but they're not being enforced. Why? Because all of our prosecutors are either elected officials, which means that they had to pay to play, or they're appointees, which means they paid to play it on the background. You don't get an actual, say I see something wrong and I go, I want charges pressed. No. That isn't how this works. I mean, we've seen blatant issues of corruption. We've seen $50,000 to Sarvis Park to the park ranger. We've seen $300 and some odd thousand going to a fresh appointee on city council who gets to vote on whether her nonprofit gets it. We've seen a man collect an indirect fucking bribe in the form of a lawnmower that got paid to Habitat for Humanity, and then it ended up in his possession. Now he's making money off of it. We've seen this. These are notes of fact, and we can't get anyone to prosecute it. But we can get Dan and Nessel to kill Rico and stop a fucking criminal Snyder from getting prosecuted.
But that's the point that I'm making. It's still, until the people who is running this circus here get called to order, it don't matter who the next people is. Because I mean, even if you do get the people, just look at people who is fighting. Man, they be coming.
You pick up the politicians, right? But you're not picking up the people behind the scenes throwing money at them to further their own agendas. I mean, when will you ever see a Ridgeway or a Mott get arrested? They've got hundreds of millions of dollars. Even if they are arrested, they're going to beat the charges because they have more money and lawyers than the entire staffing project of most of the prosecuting offices.
Yeah, and most of the people that's doing the bidding, they doing it because they think they're gonna get rewards. You got to remember, all this is about individuals now. It's like, I can get this because, listen, you got some who, and I'm not saying this because it all depends on what do you consider wealth. But I look at it like this: you got a roof over your head, you're able to pay your bills, you got you a car. You know what I'm saying? But some people want the big house.
They want the bigger house, the newer, faster car.
Yeah, they want they want certain things where they feel like they didn't, like I can sit next, I could get a crib out in Grand Blanco. Not saying even a crib, because some of them like Quincy staying here, but I could ride around in $100,000 vehicle. I got more than one car, I got this and that. It's the, I got the new big truck. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying, it's just, that's how, that them type of situations when I can get you this grant, I can get you $100,000 grant.
Yeah.
Or I can get, look, you can get this. She out here bidding with, and them the only two that we know about, because we ain't been heard about the rest of the five.
The rest of the
two.
five?
Yeah.
If they are catching something on the back end, they're at least smart enough to keep it quiet. So yeah, and Chris, no, we can't go to the feds. Why? I can tell you, I've already tried personally. I've gone to state Bureau of Investigation, state comptroller. I've gone to the FBI. I've gone to the IRS, and nothing's come of it. I've shown them. I've sent videos of the entire part where Liddell and Quincy have admitted to taking bribes, and we ain't seen shit on it. And people say, well, it takes time. No, it really doesn't. Not for a quick, easy, and cut corruption case. I mean, they are on video, public video, in a public forum, admitting to taking bribes. A videoed confession. And they may be seeing where it goes, but at the same time, Quincy just focusing on everyone anyway, so just go pick him up. But we won't see it. Why? Because it's not on the political agenda. Flint is too small.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, Christopher. I say exactly what you're saying. But it is. You need, I'm just looking at the chat. I do feel, but it's tight. I mean, like it was said, the race ain't to the swift, it's to the one that can endure.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, but shit, 10 years with this water crisis is crazy.
10 years. And they've got everything so fucking warped that you're going to see another fucking celebration. There's going to be a damned fair behind city council again, instead of the solemn event it should be to spread awareness and to keep other cities from going through this exact same tragedy we have gone through. Hey, sweetie. Heads up. Thanks.
Yeah, how you doing?
To keep them from going through the exact same tragedy we have, we are going to throw a massive ass fucking party about it.
Yep.
Instead of going around the country, calling in city leaders from around the country to say, look at what has happened to us. Listen to these men and women speak about how their children now have developmental issues, either mentally or physically, or how their children have passed, or how these old folks now are having organ failure, or X, Y, and Z. Instead of bringing people here to listen to the trauma that men and women in Flint are living with, who stare at their faucet as the goddamned enemy, we're going to throw a fucking party. That's disgusting. And they've got us so twisted around that we think that it's a good thing. And, oh, everyone's catching $1,000. $1,000 ain't shit. That ain't going to bury your loved one. That ain't going to bring him back for damn sure. And most of these bodies have been in the dirt 10 years. And they put a cap on it. And then, because of how crooked the damn system is, the judge said, oh, yes, lawyers, you can take 60% of the payout. And, oh, yes, lawyers, we'll allow you to argue why you get some of the interest.
And all I can tell y'all is another good article by Detroit Metro Times talking about the shit. So you read it?
Yeah,
The shit
yeah,
show of the Dana Nessel shit show of the Flint water case.
yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm telling
It
you.
was sent to me by one of our viewers, and who's fastly becoming someone I enjoy hearing from, Mr. Bruce Stiers.
Yeah, right. He sent it. Yeah, that's what it. So I'm telling you, it just came out the 18th. Came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm telling you. It's a good read. It's really a good read when you seeing what's going on by the Detroit Metro Times. So if y'all do, I was telling y'all on the morning bump. Can you put the link in the chat, Trevor?
Yeah, I got you, boss man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a good read. If you want to go see, and that's what is crazy. You ain't gonna get M Lives.
No.
You ain't gonna
No,
get
M Live is now a subscription service. I can't read any article anyone puts up. Why? Because they have to make money somehow.
I get it.
And I mean,
And
while
telling
we are actually spending money out of our own pockets to get the news out, the real news, they're putting out fake news and getting paid for it.
but because listen, the truth is not what you want out.
No.
You don't make money in telling the truth.
No, you make money in getting paid to tell lies.
Right. And that's why I want to tell everybody, and I say it again, it's just the truth. Do not think, not one is bought and paid for who we think these news publications is going on in the city of Flint. Not one is not off. They're going along with the program.
Going along with the get along. I mean,
yeah, because he just put it in the
I put it in the YouTube and in the face space.
Yeah, so y'all check that out if you want to see the BS how this is being handled.
I mean, it is a really good article, and it does. It goes off on a tangent or two. Don't get me wrong, but it shows the breakdown from beginning to end, why it broke down and why things went the way they were. Almost going so far as to show why it was planned to go down like this, to where people in Flint can't get anything. Hey, Ava, send me some of that weather. Yeah, Kevin. So that comment from my brother, if you put it up for just a second, to give you guys an idea of what he's talking about. My brother, Kevin Berryhill, lives down in the Permian Basin in Texas, where they do a lot of oil drilling and fracking. That oil sometimes hits the water table. Not a lot, and they're very careful about it, but it still sometimes hits. It ain't great, but as he says, it ain't Flint.
All right, even with the second comment.
Michigan ethics, yes. The only thing I haven't done is them. I went through our comptroller to start taking a look at some of our budgets, and they said they will not. Not that they cannot, they will not. Their words, direct quote.
No, because you know what? They looking at Flint like they can't believe this is how this is just being ran. They like
comptroller? Oh, they can, because they're in on it. Because they're run by the person who endorsed Neely. Do you know how much of a political black eye that would be?
Yeah.
I mean, oh, you endorsed this criminal?
I just couldn't believe that, but I get it. I get it because he going along with the get along. He going along with the propaganda, saying the water is good.
Yeah.
He's not saying that the water is not bad. Flint is rebuilding. Because it's not, this thing's getting rebuilt, but he's not telling how the people high taxes.
Certain areas have gotten their pipes replaced twice.
Right.
Certain areas have gotten not just their pipes replaced and their yards actually redone, but money invested into the houses in there. But guess what hasn't gotten that? The north side, the poor side.
Yeah. When you look at it, that's green space. That's why it's so crazy when you see the second and the third ward battling against the first ward. Yeah, it's like, how is you battling and you fighting and y'all can't see that how bad first, second, and third is not in no good shape? Even with the fourth ward, how is first, second, third, and fourth, how is y'all battling so hard with each other with 2, 3, and 4? How is y'all going against the first ward like that? Even with Candace, you just can't think about around Mott College.
No.
Because it's another part of the South Side.
There's another part of that entire 7th Ward.
Yeah, and that's to me same thing with the 9th Ward.
Mm-hmm. You've got the pretty nice space, and then you've got where we used to have our studio, our old studio.
Across the street of Regency, the park we was at is 7th Ward.
Is that 7th?
Yeah, well, the side we was on the 7th. The Regency's is the 9th Ward.
Is the 9th? Yeah.
Yeah. See, we were 7th.
Both areas right there.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's the point that I'm making.
What I'm trying to say.
Oh, most definitely, Chris.
And actually, I got something about that, Chris. The gentleman I mentioned earlier, Mr. Bruce, he's put me in contact with the status quo.
Yeah, that's who I got the text from.
Yeah, so
Jordan.
I'll be talking with them and seeing if we can come up with something together if they want to. They're definitely the bigger potato here, so.
For sure. Nah, status quo be putting status quo, status Q. Yeah, status quo. Cool. Like a cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, status. Yeah, status. Yeah. Now Jordan, I remember he was up here doing the water crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, last year when they was doing
and his shit's on point. And I don't mean to call it shit because it is. I mean, his productions are on point. They are truthful.
Yeah.
Straight up. And they are brutal. Straight up. I really like the man's work.
Yeah, no.
I would love to work with him.
Right. And that's what he be on this stuff because that's who I saw first. He was on Jimmy Dore podcast when they was talking about Flint. That was the only ones I seen. Once again, it was outsiders. It's saying like Flint is just so hell bent on stopping the message from getting out.
Yeah. So when the water crisis first hit in 2014, me and the wife heard about it in 15. We were living in Texas. And she goes, holy shit, look at this. It was status quo that she brought up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh. And mind you, I was working at 7-Eleven, and I was like, well, we're getting the kids out there anyway.
Right.
It sucks for your parents. Let's see what we can do for them. And then we ended up moving here. I'm like, yeah, let's not die. That was the only thing that came, because my family's motto is don't fuck up.
Yeah. No, because I'm looking what Carol M.K. said. She says she's in the 5th Ward. And all she had was 4 black from City Hall, only service line replaced. 4 block. Black.
4 blocks from City Hall.
4 block, right, be okay.
So the service line, in other words, the line from the street to your house, right? They didn't even do the main. Weird.
And that's what's crazy. Flint is in it, but when it was with the water, well, I'm just going to say this. Flint playing the highest, but the outside is not. That's what I don't get. Flint got the highest water rate.
No. And it
you know what?
Out, right?
Clip that. Never mind. We know why.
Yeah. But it trips me out. All this money came here, and none of it got spent on the actual folks at Flint. All of it got funneled to some pretty new buildings, some 1 or 2 nice little projects, and out of 501c3s over the past damn decade. And the people are still living in squalor. Our pipes still ain't fixed. Our roofs are falling in. Hell, they can't even be asked to go and trim the trees on city and county property so they don't fall in on people's homes. And when it does, they're going to tell you, call your insurance agent. Well, if I could afford insurance, maybe.
Hey.
Let's be honest here. Living in Flint, any insurance goes through the roof. You may not be able to fucking afford it.
Oh, yeah.
Business insurance, car insurance, home insurance. Hell, even health insurance is more expensive living in Flint.
Even if they give you homeowners insurance living in Flint.
Yeah. I know several people who just don't qualify for homeowners insurance because of the part of Flint they live in. No insurance adjuster will give them insurance. Doesn't matter how good their house is. Just because of where they live.
That's strange. The point that, suspicious, as Winters was saying.
Suspicious.
Because it make you do think. It's like when you see it, but to me, the problem is the citizens got to go down there and demand it. See what they looking at. And much as we say, because we at council, so I don't, we down there. The people got to come. Only so much that we can do. Because like the second ward got to come in. It'd be people from the second ward, but council should be standing room only.
I got you, Deborah. Well, here's my thing, right? And it's a flaw with the actual people of Flint. The people of Flint want a superhero to come and fix everything. We don't need 2 or 3 superheroes. We need an army of soldiers. And what I mean by that is stand up for yourselves. Stand up with us. Come on down to city council. Because remember, they're restricting how much time we have to talk now, right? So if everyone shows up, packs that room to capacity, and everyone takes their time to speak, they can't ignore us anymore.
No, this is why you see the BS that's going on with Liddell. Back to the redistricting. Now let's go back to the old map.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. But people was already out here, and I will say this: Dominique, went to say because she was, the one talked to him, said he had been reaching out to the state.
Mm-hmm.
So if the state waited 3 weeks, and it just so happened he came on the show, you mean to tell me now is this because they figured that the new area was going to vote Liddell out?
Honestly, I feel that Ms. Bev Biggs should petition the state for more time on this recall using the same language because they decided to play with the districts. Because I can tell you, Art and myself and several volunteers were hitting up the new part. Well, now they're saying the old. You didn't give us specific instructions. You said go to the new. Now it's go to the old.
Right.
Go to the current. No. Go to the old. So they're fucking with it. So how are they expecting her to come up with the proper amount of signatures if they keep on playing with the goalposts, left or right?
Yeah, no,
she needs to straight up call and petition, or at very least get a lawsuit in order, because this is interfering with the democratic process.
Yeah, because if you voted on it, and then I'm not for sure if some people got because they ain't even sent out their voter registration cards with their new districts or whatever, but y'all had people thinking, oh, you got yours?
I've had mine.
See? But now, you're not in the 6th ward no more. You're in the 5th,
It says
right?
5th ward.
So you 5th ward. So why would they put them out here when really?
I mean, it should just be what's on this card.
Yeah.
Your voter registration. If it says a 2, then you're good. But they want to say old boundaries. Okay, fine. Then you need to give me more time to adjust my strategy because you didn't give me the proper place in the first place.
And that's what the state should do since they did that. Nah, I know they didn't.
We need to pick. Look, Chris, I'll be honest with you. And this is straight up because I love Tanya as one of my closest friends in Flint. I love Jerry Winfrey Carter. She is the best council person I could ask for. Mr. Mays is quite possibly one of my best political friends in the city, and I really like Dennis. We need to replace all 9. Period. End of story.
Oh, shit.
Here's why. Because, say, the 4 we like stay up there. If any of those 5 that get replaced happen to have an attitude toward one of the 4 that we like are there, then problems perpetuate. We need a fresh slate.
But even going to get a fresh slate, what if it be like all of them? Just what if you get 5 everybody replaced? You're gonna want some people on there that is fighting for you.
I know, and I like them because they are fighting for me. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't bring former bad blood. Let new bad blood boil up eventually.
But can Flint really take a chance of going through that? Because you mess around.
Flint doesn't have a chance in hell right now anyway. We're already circling the drain. I mean, as hard as you and I and chat paddles, you can't go against the stream for too long, man. We are trying to reverse this course. But when you have an entire half of the city.
But if you got 4 on there and you can get all you need is 2 more.
Yeah.
Out of them 3 that's off. And I get it. If you can get 2 more, Flint can be, I'm not going to, let me say it this way. Because then they still have to
go against the mayor. And the mayor has veto power. So you have to have 7 votes.
No, 6.
I thought 7 was override.
6 is override.
I don't know what these new fucking rules are. Funky.
But rules. if you got your 6 on there, you can go back and redo the what's in there.
And maybe I am fucking Looney Tunes. However, what I'm saying is there are several people out there who will want to see, and we're just going to use Tanya as an example, that have a dislike for Tanya. They're going to come up there with that attitude for Tanya. And I get it. You're saying you replace them and we might still get
Look
5
what we
bad
got.
votes.
What look, and that's what really happened. When you go back and look at it, you replace Kate Fields. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. You got Judy. You know what I'm saying? You got Allie Hokenroder in the 7th ward. Bad as because some people liked Monica, some didn't. You know what I'm saying? Proof is in the pudding. She lost her election, even though they use outside that dark literature. But got rid of Maurice Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You got Liddell Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Santino was walking away anyway. He didn't want to be back on the ballot, but
I mean,
you got a Quincy
we've
Murphy.
got 3 right now that are looking at recalls and special elections, and we may get 3 that are still sympathetic with the mayor.
No, that's why Jasmine, I'm with you with Drina, who I'm talking about. A whole new council would be worse than this. They won't know the new charter, council rules, etc. And then you might have certain entities. Look how Quincy and Liddell came in. That's what I'm saying. You want something. You needed a Tanya who, when she went there with Dennis, they was over them at Ashley Capital with Tanya say, nah, I ain't taking nothing.
I remember.
Jerry Winfrey Carter didn't take nothing.
I'm just saying, like, I love those 4. They're really great people. I just want to see a fresh restart.
But the thing is,
you were the one just a minute ago saying we need a restart and a reslate.
I was talking about what the people know. I'm talking about the people who controlling Flint. I said you can switch out council,
yeah,
but if you still got the same, if you still got the same entities that's controlling the purse strings, how you gonna really change it? Because you got to look. They got
unless those people fucking die off and don't pass their money on to anyone, you're gonna have the same shit here.
No, but you had some who will fight against it. Not all. Everybody was folding for it. Now I'll give Mayor Weaver this. She was fighting against that water. What was going on, and that's why she's on this side of the city. I mean, on this side of what's going on, because she wasn't going along with the governor at that time. And that's why you saw she was really forced out. I mean, not forced out, it was some trickery that was played. I never seen as many problems.
There are ways to work around the government, my man.
Yeah, it is, but you got to have people who want to work. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. You don't see that in certain, you just see that really in the more of your, and I hate to just say it this way, but more of your poor cities. You see how government doesn't work.
Yeah.
Cities that's prospering, you see how government do work.
I mean, if you just look at it like this, larger cities are where you see most of these problems. Smaller cities where government doesn't really have too much of a say in someone's life tend to prosper and get bigger, but then government gets bigger as well.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Let me just go and break it down. It was a must that Neely needed to break up. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, when Maurice Davis, when Maurice Davis did, a lot of people might don't want to hear this. When he did see how it was going, but he was coming on the show saying what the problem was. But when Neely seen he wasn't going along with him, that's when Maurice Davis, he became a problem. Because I'm telling you, him, Eric, Monica Galloway, Jerry Winfrey Carter, when it was just the foe, they was battling against Neely.
Mm-hmm.
When Maurice when they was like, it's time to get some new whistle. And maybe it did, because I was getting tired of Kate Fields. I was getting tired of Eva Worthy. Let me just be real. I was even getting tired of Herb Winfrey, because on how he was being like a pacifist because Neely appointed him to his seat. See, it's going back to this friendship. See, it got on my nerves on how you were seeing council was being ran. But look what we got. I can't say this. Winters was like, be careful what you wish for. And what we got, K Fields was gone. Quincy, really the third ward was really never getting no help. Because I'm just going to be honest. You didn't get none from Kerry. You didn't get none from Santino Guerrero. See, a lot of these people was just getting what comes along with being in that council seat. And really want doing, you can tell, you see which ones who fighting for the people. You can see how they, you know what I'm saying? It's not no job you will want. Just to be honest, because when you're fighting, it don't pay. And I'm going to keep saying that. If you really was fighting for the people, Do you understand? Flint can look it at one time was the beacon of cities, even the educational system when you had the plants here, and look what it is now.
All I'm saying is, because they've been fighting so hard for so long for us, people are going to go into those seats trying to pick a fight.
Man, see,
and it's going to end that way every time.
At least I'd rather have me something. I'll take a chance of me getting a 5 or a 6 and fighting, then going up here and you get 9 new ones in, then it'll be looking more crazier. Because just look at it. You can even look at the Ethics and Accountability Board. You can look at the school board. When you go do that, sometimes you'll mess around and change and get the wrong people in. But see, that's the thing, how you can just say, but Flint can't afford that. What I'm saying, you gotta get, when you put that on there, that's just, man, you'll see slates come out of nowhere when you change that time. Because when you go to change 9, you don't think people who got money finna go in, they can send more candidates in. Flint is already tired. They got the mayor. You know what I'm saying? Look, Candace, she fighting for not to have an election. She want to be on that seat.
Yeah.
You already did the 7th ward. That was some BS. That was straight up BS. How that got did, but that goes back to Davina and whoever the clerk. I mean, Davina is the clerk. They already showing you they don't want your vote. So why would they start over? That's only a person to get food. Yeah, let's go ahead. No, I got 4 on there. We finna work these 3 or 4 seats or whatever we can do through recall. That's how that help. I'm not gonna go with we finna change all 9. You mess around, say the mayor get all 9 in, then what? Then you're gonna be looking at, man, we gotta do some recalls. People will be tired.
Dude, guaranteed this time next year we're gonna be talking about recalls. This time next year, we're going to have the same fucking issues. It doesn't matter if we have 4, 5, or 6 on that fucking council.
Well, I'll take my chance with the 4 on there trying to get 2 more. You know, going your route, how you saying it,
mm-hmm.
I couldn't chance it like that. I'm not a gambling man. I'm not going to sit up there and try to chance it when I know people who got money can already stack the deck. You're lucky to have 4 that's with you right now. And to go back and try to go get and pray that out of the new 9 that's coming in, shit.
Thank you, Christopher. And Chris, I've run for office. I don't play enough ball, apparently. I ain't fucking doing it again. I'm sorry. Like, I really want to help the city. At the same time, I don't play ball and I'm not polished enough. I cuss too much and I say what's on my goddamn mind, and people didn't like that. So, no, that won't be wasting money like that again.
I mean, Terry, to be honest with you, fresh. I mean, Terry, I do agree with you on that, but I'm just looking at it like, to be honest with you, and I gotta go. The train has left the station.
Dude, I mean, we only get, 20% voter turnout here? 20 fucking percent. This year at the presidential election, I'm willing to bet we're going to see maybe 40%. We're not going to see any damn change.
No, I mean, what you will see with this 5 to vote, that you will see, well, we already know taxes going up. We know they didn't just gave the mayor, sent the ARPA funds right to the general fund. Mm-hmm. Like, never seen this in the history.
No.
A negotiation like this, like, wow. Then
just watching 5 members of council vote to give up control of that money. Because while, yes, it's the general fund and they have overall control of that, the mayor gets to write a sizable check every fucking day he's in office if he damn well pleases. They give up control of that money. Period. End of story. $40 million in the mayor's hands. Do it as he pleases, to pass out to his friends as he fucking pleases. Yeah. You won't see that money a year from now. Hell, you won't even see that money 6 months from now.
Yeah, but when you got 5 council, when you got 5 votes, that's not even gonna do their due diligence, not even gonna do diligence, ain't even looking at what's going on. When you just on one, they was all ready to vote. I remember back in December, and the people
in the wrong ward. I live in Jerry's ward unless you want me running against her.
And even with people, even with, like I say, look how the council chamber be. You know, you had the ones. That's why you can see that.
$75,000 on that fucking council chamber, or was it $100,000? And they can't even get paint lines straight. They can't even square up grades. No, like this entire city's fucked.
Oh no,
It's sad. I love the city. I
Mental.
love the people of the city.
Yeah.
But when there's very little I can do to compete against several multimillionaires.
No, it's
There's
nothing.
very little you can do. The best we can do is sit here and try to inform people.
Because we be at council. So when they say we
At
know,
council,
I go to where they. Yeah.
When there's a break between when council and school board aren't at the same time, we have people at the school board. I mean, we do our best to be everywhere and to inform everyone. But at the same time,
you got to get the people out to come out. They really got to come out. I don't know what else to tell them. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I'm saying the president. Oh, this is Anna. You so right.
All politics are local, but yeah, like people are so worried about who the next president is going to be. When that reach doesn't really hit us here, except for economically, right?
Yeah,
but right then when you got 5 people that think that everyone's a bottomless well of taxes,
yeah,
and now grandma and grandpa who spent their entire lives working and trying to save up money and are thinking about retiring now, take a look at how the expenses are going. They're like, shit, I can't keep my house if I quit my job right now or if I retire.
Yeah,
my government stipend or my retirement stipend, my 401,
right.
401k ain't gonna fucking keep up with it.
Right. Especially if I do agree with Keisha, Denise, what she said. If them 5 quit thinking they work for the mayor and that they work for their residents, their constituents in their ward, finna get did better. Wonderful. Yeah, but see, they get caught up. Like I say, when it's easy to it's easy to work somebody now. Just to be honest with you,
council's about to change once again when they change those rules. Everything's going to be a rubber stamp. The majority, whoever has the majority is going to be able to do whatever they want without.
But you might get the majority who say, "No, let's change it back to how it was." Because to me, what you see Liddell doing, like I always hear Claire McClendon always say, the ghost of emergency manager.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to me is like what they doing. It's like they doing the ghost of emergency manager. They like silencing the people. And it's like they doing the work where the state don't got to come in.
Blatantly flaunting the law.
Yeah.
When Liddell was sitting there saying, I know what the charter says. I don't care. I'm going to try to push back the 7th Ward election. In other words, she's saying, I don't really care if you want someone that you vote for or not. Fuck you. No, your vote don't matter is exactly what Liddell's saying. And it's going to keep on going. That's just how things are. The 9th Ward didn't even really get a voice. Eva won with what, by default and then by 86 votes? Like a total of 86 votes, not one with a total of 86 votes.
Yeah, no doubt.
How are you going to represent several thousand people when only 86 actually stood up behind you? Weird. Flint doesn't have a democracy. What we got is a sham with the mask of democracy. It's a money grab. They're taking the money from the many and giving it to the few. Hell, because of that money grab and how much power is around in Flint, we couldn't even get a studio in Flint. We had to go to one of the fucking outskirts.
Probably was the smartest thing we did, though.
Yeah, and I like our landlord. He's a decent guy.
Yeah, sometimes outside is better.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta think about it. When all the stuff that's going on, I just look at it like, listen, I know we gotta go ahead. You're gonna have to sit down, but you gotta get with some like-minded people and go to work.
You have to actually have a discussion the first time and then a plan of action and get to it instead of talk. Because that's how they wrap you up here, dude. They have 1 or 2 people that pop in, bad actors, that say, oh, well, let's save this and we'll meet again next month and talk about it. and next month and next month and you never get to your plan of action. You never get to organize or strategize or actually get to work.
No, Terry, and I agree with you. That's why they trying to push this thing. They didn't really want the recalls going in because they can't right now. They so jammed up. They didn't want Candace. And I do believe with Terry, they grooming their people already for the next. They got to.
They're already
because
writing
they
up
know
the legal literature.
Yeah, because they know if they don't, this gonna mess up what's going on for maybe a few years. It might mess them up. Remember, this is old, this long game. This ain't the short game.
No.
You know, they might, if they might say they might have to scrap it with Neely and say, listen, okay, we're gonna send you over here.
Morno, you forgot the clerk, because the clerk is definitely not trying to help.
Nah, she want to keep that $80,000 job.
The clerk is the one that's sitting there playing with the boundaries. Which one you get to use?
Yeah,
Tell me I'm wrong.
But they know they getting told from up top. Now that I do believe.
I mean,
yeah. And you know what? That's what we're gonna have to do, Chris Caleb. We're gonna have to get some outside people on the out that can come in. It's not because most of the people here, believe me when I say this, most, not all, the majority is bought or have been bought. You see the ones who not bought. You see how the fight they fight. I'm just being honest, like from the leaders, you know what I'm saying, down to the community
all
leaders.
These damn recycled politicians coming through, hitting every seat on their way out.
It's like
how many times have they been paid off? Hell, their bank accounts are more run through than a yellow light.
Yeah, now Ted Harris, I'm Richie. Oh no, you're right, Chris Caleb, but you got to make sure you get some people in here that's gonna help because a lot of times, if you notice, the ones who are the puppet masters, they keep them 5 on something.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 5 on council, if it's 5 on the ethics and accountability board, if it's 5 on the damn school board, if it's 5 over the county,
have a parliamentarian. Confidential source says from the inside, I'm not going to say who, they posted that job. They directly offered that job to several people, and several people said, you can take that and shove it. I want nothing to do with that job. I'm not even kidding you. They directly approached like 5 or 6 people, and all of them turned it down, and one of them actually got angry that it was offered to them. They don't want to deal with the council mess.
I keep telling you, don't nobody want to come deal with Flint. They looking at it like, hey, listen.
Yeah, it didn't work the first time. Yeah, I was inquiring for a friend of mine if they had a parliamentarian job, and that's when I got told that, like, no, we've directly offered that to several, and one got angry at us.
Yeah, who will want to come deal with this Flint mess?
Dude.
That's why I keep saying independent news do not want to hear not what Liddell and Candace did.
Oh, speaking of independent news, since we're a podcast, I have to put this out there because I read a fucking idiot earlier this week. I have stronger words for it, but I can't say those on air. Otherwise, we get the video taken down. Podcasts are not subject to the FCC, you fucking idiots. We are only accountable to the, FTC, whereas if we have a product, we have to claim whether we're sponsored or being paid by them or not. We can say our damned opinions as ever much as we like, such as Liddell's a fucking crook, in my opinion. I'm not breaking no rules, and you can kiss my ass. All right, go ahead and continue.
Oh, no, that was, you got it off your chest.
Oh, yeah. No, we've been on for an hour. I've rambled quite a bit. Guys, look. I wouldn't recommend changing all 9 at once. But over a period of time, I wouldn't mind seeing them swapped out eventually. And by swapped out, you know what? Maybe Tanya, Jerry, Dennis, and Eric can move on to higher offices or X, Y, and Z. And we can slowly filter and vet new people to come in to not only have the bad blood or get rid of the bad blood, but also be for the people. I know those 4 are, and I know that they know what to look for in their replacements. And then we got 5 people that we absolutely have to get rid of, and we have to vet their replacements. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from who's coming from the 9th. I really want to talk with Ms. Jan Marie, and I really want to see who's gearing up for second ward. You know, we've got Mr. Davis, of course, and a few others. And then once they're all vetted, we need to collapse behind one from each ward instead of spreading our votes out and letting the fucking trouble back in. We need to organize as a people of Flint. And then when it comes time for the third and fourth ward, we need to do the exact same thing if it comes to recall or if it goes to a regular election. We need to vet the replacements and then climb behind one person and push them forward instead of splitting a vote and not getting the right person back into that chair.
You got a point.
And then when it comes to our state rep, I mean, Democrats last time had what, 5 people running, and we still got Cynthia Neely, Miss Do Nothing, Know Nothing, Say Nothing. Now I'm willing to. That's one reason why I'm not running.
I agree with you, Renee.
I'm just going to step behind one person. So,
I mean, you know what? I'm like this. As long as you for the people, we're going to put you on here. We're going to get you. I mean, we want to interview all of them for the people can see for themselves. That's all I'm going to say. Get you on here. And you know, please. I mean, not going to say please, but state your case. Yeah, we do have to stop voting party. You got to vote who really in the best interest of what you got going on for the people.
Keisha, I'll tell you straight up, I voted Democrat before, and I'm a registered Republican. I don't fucking care. And I know I'm going to get some calls from Republicans tonight, especially from the party, saying you can't say that if you're going to be part of us. And I tell them I'm not running, kiss my lily white ass. I'm sorry. Look, if you're a better human being than the rest of the field, I'm voting for you. I don't care if it's a D or an R in front of your name. Hell, I don't care if it's an R or a G. Green Party, Republican, Libertarian, Democrat, just be for the people is all I ask, and be smarter than a damned rock. I think that's going to do us.
Yeah, that right there. Family, we see y'all. I'll see y'all twice today. Won't be me though, but they'll just be talking. And Trevor, see you next week with solutions.
My partner. I don't have a partner.
No. We're gonna be changing some things up in the coming months. So stay safe, family.